The first sign is the ceiling, not the rent. The rent comes later. And the rent has its own entire story that you will get to. But the first sign, the sign that something is different about the kid in 4F, is the ceiling. You are doing your monthly walkthrough of the building. Standard procedure. You have owned this building in Queens for 11 years, 6 floors, 22 units, 1 elevator that works most of the time, and one that has not worked since the second Obama administration. You knock on 4F. Peter Parker opens the door. He is 19 years old. He looks like the kind of person who was raised to say sir and mean it. He pays on time. Mostly, he is quiet. He is, by every metric you have developed over 11 years, the best possible kind of tenant. You do the walkthrough. Everything looks fine. You are almost done when you look up. There are footprints on the ceiling, not metaphorical footprints, actual footprints. The specific indentation pattern of a size 9 shoe pressed into the plaster in a trail that goes from the bathroom door to the window. On the ceiling, you look at the footprints. You look at Peter Parker. Peter Parker looks at the footprints with the expression of someone who has just noticed something they definitely knew was there and had hoped you would not notice. He says, "I can explain that." You say, "Please." He explains it. The explanation involves science and an experiment and the chemical adhesive compound he is working on for a school project. You understand approximately 30% of the words he uses, but the overall impression is that the footprints are the result of something scientific and accidental and completely benign. You look at him. He looks at you with eyes that are so earnest it is almost physically uncomfortable. You tell him to clean it up. He says, "Absolutely." He says he is so sorry. He says it will not happen again. You close your notebook. You go back downstairs. You stand in the lobby for a moment. You have been doing this for 11 years. You know when a tenant is lying. You do not know what the truth is, but the footprints going from the bathroom to the window in a straight line on the ceiling are not the result of a school project. You add it to the list of things you do not investigate further. Every building has a list like this. The list is how buildings stay functional. 3 weeks later, Peter Parker pays his rent 4 days late. This is new. The first 8 months he was in the building, he paid on time. The first of every month. Cash in an envelope slipped under your office door. The envelope always had a small doodle on the back, a little spider, for some reason. You never asked. Now the rent is 4 days late. You knock on 4F. He opens the door. He is wearing sunglasses inside at 10 in the morning, and there is a bruise on his jaw that the sunglasses are not covering. He said, there is a, you close, you go, you think about the footprints on the ceiling. You think about the bruise. You think about the fact that last Tuesday, a man in a red and blue suit stopped a runaway delivery truck on the corner of your street. You add it to the list. The second sign is the window, not broken, modified. You are doing a routine check of the exterior fire escapes, and you notice that the window in 4F has been adjusted. The latch has been replaced with a mechanism you do not recognize. It opens from the outside without a key. It opens, you will realize when you test it, by pressing a specific spot on the outer frame in a way that is not accidental. The window opens outward, fast, like it was designed to be exited quickly. You stand on the fire escape outside 4F for a moment. You think about what kind of person needs a window that opens from the outside without a key, that can be operated quickly in the dark. You think about the footprints. You think about the bruise. You think about the delivery truck. You go back inside. You find the fire escape inspection form. You write, window latch replaced. Appears functional. No safety concerns. You file the form. This is your professional assessment. No safety concerns. None at all. The third sign is the smell. You are passing 4F on a Thursday evening when you smell something chemical, sharp. The specific smell of something synthetic that your nose does not have a category for. You knock. Peter Parker opens the door immediately, which means he heard you coming before you knocked. The smell is stronger. In the corner of the apartment, next to the desk that has 3 computers on it despite being a 19-year-old who works at a sandwich shop, there is a workbench. On the workbench, there are things you cannot identify. Small cartridges, spools of something that looks like wire but isn't. Chemical containers with handwritten labels. He is looking at you with the earnest eyes. He is already preparing the explanation. You hold up your hand. You tell him, no open flames. He says, absolutely. You tell him, ventilate the room. He says, of course. You tell him, if anything catches fire, I find out who your aunt is. He says, please, do not tell my aunt. You say, first of every month. He says, absolutely. You leave. The fourth sign is the wall. This one you cannot put on the list. This one requires a conversation. You are in your office on a Saturday morning when you feel the building shudder. Not an earthquake. This is localized. Somewhere above you. 4th floor, you estimate, which means 4F. You go upstairs. You knock on 4F. No answer. You use your key. The wall between 4F and the stairwell has a hole in it. Not a crack. A hole. The approximate circumference of a person being put through a wall at some velocity. The apartment is empty. Peter Parker is not here. There is just the hole. And the workbench with the things you cannot identify. And the 3 computers. And the window with the modified latch. You stand in the apartment and you look at the hole. You have been doing this for 11 years. You have had tenants who kept unauthorized pets. You have had tenants who ran small businesses out of their units. You have even had a psychic consultant. You have not had a hole. You go back to your office. You sit at your desk. You look at the lease agreement for Unit 4F. Parker, Peter B. No subletting, no structural modifications, no illegal activities. You think about the word illegal. You think about the man in the red and blue suit who has been on the news, who stops muggings and catches falling tourists and once, memorably, held up a collapsing overpass in Brooklyn with his bare hands. You think about what he does is illegal. You are fairly certain it exists in a legal gray area. And you are fairly certain that you do not want to be the person who resolves it. Peter Parker comes home at 2 in the morning. You are waiting in the hallway. He stops when he sees you. He is wearing a hoodie and sweatpants. His hands are in the front pocket. There is a cut above his eyebrow. You look at each other for a moment. You say, the wall. He says, I know. You say, 4th floor, stairwell side. He says, I know. I am so sorry. I will fix it. You say, you will fix it in the next 48 hours, or I will fix it and charge you for the labor. He says, 48 hours. Absolutely. You look at him. He looks at you. You say one more thing. You say it quietly. In the hallway. At 2 in the morning. To a 19-year-old with a cut above his eyebrow and hands he is keeping in his pocket. You say, whatever you are doing, be careful. He is very still for a moment. Then he says, I try to be. You nod. You go back to your apartment. You do not sleep for a while. You think about the footprints and the window and the hole in the wall. You think about the delivery truck on the corner. You think about the cut above his eyebrow. You think about 19 years old and whatever you are doing. You think about the doodle on the rent envelope, the little spider, every single month, right there, in your hand, and you never asked. You add the whole thing to the list. The list is very long now. You go to sleep. The rent comes on the first of the following month. The wall is fixed. It is a better patch job than anything your regular contractor does. And it irritates you slightly to admit this. The envelope has the doodle on the back. You hold the envelope and you look at the doodle. And you think about what it takes to be 19 and have a secret that big. And still pay your rent mostly on time and say sir and mean it. You put the envelope in the drawer. You make a note in your ledger. Unit 4F, Parker. Current. You pick up your phone. There is a news alert. A building fire in Manhattan. Everyone got out. Someone on the news is describing the person who helped evacuate the building. A young man in a red and blue suit. You put your phone down. You look at the ledger. Unit 4F, Parker. Current. You close the ledger. You have 11 years of experience managing tenants in this building. You have seen things. You have made lists. You know when to ask questions, and when the answers are already in the envelope. You turn off your office light. You go to bed. Tomorrow, the boiler needs servicing. The elevator on the north side is making a noise again. The tenant in 2C has submitted her third formal complaint about 2B's dog. Your building needs you. Somewhere in Manhattan, a building full of people got out because of the kid in 4F. You think this is probably a fair trade for one hole in a wall. You go to sleep. The morning available, this story is inspired by the world of Spider-Man. But the person at the center of it is not fictional. Every extraordinary person who has ever done extraordinary things has had an ordinary person nearby who noticed more than they said, and chose, for reasons that were not stupidity, but something closer to grace, to let it be. They did not get a credit. They did not get a thank you. They got a rent payment on the first of the month, with a small drawing on the back. That was enough. If this one stayed with you, drop a comment. Subscribe. The next story is already waiting.